Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And once again, this is the 1-day chart. We're sitting here just above 52 cents. We're still stuck in that same channel, moving between 50 and 55 cents, just waiting for XRP to break out. And we've been stuck in this channel for such a long period of time now. You know, once this breaks out, once XRP starts to go off, it's going to be an exciting time. All the excitement is going to come rushing in as soon as it happens. And I cannot wait for that. This comes from Smoke. Starting late 2024, crypto will finally be measured at their fair market value. Finally, as a result of Financial Standards Board regulations past September 2023, the true value of crypto will be revealed. So do you honestly believe that the price of XRP that we're looking at right now is the fair market price? I don't think so. I think XRP is very undervalued. Honestly, I think if we weren't tied up with the SEC for the past 3 years, I think XRP would already be sitting above its old all-time high. But it looks like that could be changing. Yes, U.S. regulation SAB 121 outlines the requirement as well to measure crypto assets on a balance sheet at fair value. Fair value is determined by the market. But who creates the market price? And what would the fair market value of XRP be? I mean, if you based it on all the growth that's going on around XRP Ledger and XRP, you know, getting used for remittances between two countries and on-demand liquidity, I would put the fair market value, like I said, most likely above $5. I want to see where this goes from here. This comes from Chad Steingraber. Remember, with SAB 121 going down, the banks are ready. So you see, Digital Asset Conference, Goldman Sachs office, London, Thursday, June 27th, 2024. They're going to talk about tokenization, crypto markets, investor perspectives, and more during this full-day in-person only event. The banks are eager to get on board. What's holding the banks back is regulations, especially here in the U.S. In other countries, they're pushing ahead. They want to get the upper hand. They have a chance to get ahead of the United States, especially smaller countries and countries where their economy isn't as good. But again, our economy isn't much better. Look at all the debt we're in. But this gives them a chance to get ahead, push their economy higher, you know, go full steam ahead with innovation and crypto. But, SAB 121 is game changing in my opinion. It's going to change the rules around crypto. Crypto company Ripple has donated another $25 million to the Crypto Political Action Committee Fair Shake, bringing the PAC's total to just north of $100 million ahead of this November's election. And this is what Brad said right here. Our contributions to Fair Shake are just one of many ways Ripple will actively invest in educating voters on the role crypto will play in the future and the dangers of the anti-crypto stance some policymakers are clinging to in Washington, said Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse in a press statement. Ripple will not, and the crypto industry should not, keep quiet while unelected regulators actively seek to impede innovation and economic growth that millions of Americans utilize. The crypto industry intends to remain heavily invested in this effort until we see meaningful change. You know, I said this back in 2022 in some early videos. I said, wait until the 2024 elections. Crypto is going to play a big part. I didn't think it was going to be this big. I thought we would get some mentions on the mainstream media news. And I thought maybe it would bring more investors into crypto. But let me tell you something. Because of Donald Trump and because of Johnny Deaton going after Elizabeth Warren now, I think everything is changing. I think crypto is going to be at the forefront of the 2024 elections. And I think a lot of anti-crypto politicians are going to end up losing their seat. Brad Garlinghouse answers liquidity question and reminds us why XRP reduces the risk for cross-border payments by settling transactions within 3 seconds. Take a listen to this video and I'll give you my thoughts.
Brad, this is an honest question. One of your products is to distribute liquidity through the payments system. So the question is, could there be a run on Ripple? In other words, everybody wants your liquidity. Nobody wants to provide it because there is a scenario where people develop doubts for good reasons or bad about the system.
So let me first clarify what Ripple provides. Ripple doesn't provide liquidity. Ripple provides technologies that allow you to access liquidity that exists in the marketplace. In the last 24 hours, the digital asset marketplace traded about $50 billion of liquidity in 24 hours. That includes XRP, but that includes Bitcoin and Ether and what have you. So, could there be a run on digital assets at large? The nuance of the question is, Ripple sells technologies. Can there be a run on Ripple? I don't know what that looks like. I mean, I can't really think about that. Could there be a run on digital assets? I don't know. I mean, today again, $50 billion of liquidity, and people are moving liquidity around. For XRP, a settlement happens in 3 seconds. And so, to your point of taking 24 hours, I mean, 24 hours that's a positive story of a cross-border transaction. Many take longer. So taking a 3-second transaction and the risk associated with a 3-second transaction as compared to a day or 2 or 3, I think most people would say, hey, I feel better about taking 3 seconds of risk than a day or 2. So could there be a run on digital assets? Even that I don't know exactly how to think about, because again, there's a lot of, I suppose at $50 billion a day in a nascent, I view it as a pretty nascent market today.
I think Brad was trying to avoid the question, most likely because if he was to say there could be a run on digital assets, that could cause chaos. And if most likely he's also tied to a lot of NDAs and things he's not allowed to talk about. How I look at this as, sure, it makes the payment safer because it transacts inside of 3 seconds. When it comes to XRP, though, XRP is going to be locked up and it's going to be held by different companies, different banks, different governments because of that on-demand liquidity that it solves. That solves a major problem. It disrupts everything. It's the same reason that Swift is going to be working with Ripple going forward. It's the same reason that the BIS and the IMF always hails Ripple and XRP in a lot of their white papers. So I think what would really happen is you wouldn't have a run on digital assets. You would have scarcity of digital assets. Could that be where people need it and it could cause the price to explode and people to sell so other people could buy? We really don't know yet. I always look at it like this. Over time, there's going to be so many people selling XRP and there's going to be people lined up to buy it. And as more of retail sells, more of the big institutions are going to get hold of XRP. And once they get a hold of it, they're not going to be willing to sell it the way we would sell it. They have billions of dollars already. What do they care if XRP goes up by $10 or $20 or even $100 in the future? Because they are going to need it for its utility. There's a difference. Retail needs it so that they can get rich. The big institutions need it for its actual use case. So, Brad, I'm sure he would love to have answered that question, but he's not even sure himself. This also comes from Smoke. ISO 222 will facilitate payments between legacy network and emerging payment gateways like Ripple and R3 Corda. People are still downplaying ISO. And the biggest mistake you can make in crypto right now is paying attention to the people that downplay ISO. Because the value hasn't come yet. And I always add yet in there. Because this value is definitely going to happen. There's a reason this handful of cryptocurrencies are part of ISO and compliant. And that's going to be game changing as we move ahead into the future. It's not that it's difficult. They just don't like the transparency and minimal fees. They could then charge way too late and they will get left behind. You know, the banks are dragging their feet to get tied in with ISO. But when you look at Jamie Dimon, the way he talks about Basel III, he sees that as a threat. He doesn't like it because when transparency is there, the banks can no longer do shady activity in the background. And once we are at the point where ISO is fully up and running, which is going to be in 2025, you're still going to want to be holding these ISO cryptocurrencies when that happens. However, if we go through alt season and we have a normal cycle and people are selling off at $10 and $12 and $15, I think they're going to regret it once ISO kicks in. All of a sudden, a major shift is going to happen with these ISO cryptocurrencies. We're no longer going to see those pullbacks like we see with normal cycles either. It's going to gradually be upward movement. Small pullbacks, more upward movement. That's what I see playing out. And that's why I'm never, ever going to sell my whole bag of any of these ISO cryptocurrencies. Ripple has stepped in to help the victims of Brazil's floods. So Ripple, San Francisco-based company Ripple, has committed $100,000 to assist ongoing relief efforts in Brazil following devastating floods. Like I always tell you, you know, Ripple is always out there doing good. But people only look at the bad part of Ripple. Oh, they're tied to the World Economic Forum. Oh, they're tied to CBDCs. But Ripple does a lot of good also. And, you know, we might not like the idea of CBDCs, and we might not like the idea that, you know, Brad sits on the board at the World Economic Forum. But I always looked at it like this. Brad sitting at the board at the World Economic Forum makes me want to buy more XRP. Because I know what's coming next. I want to invest where the elites are investing their money. And you know the elites are investing in XRP as well. Same reason that you see the IMF and the BIS and the central banks praising Ripple's technology, praising XRP for on-demand liquidity. If you want to get rich, you gotta follow the money. I always say that. Follow what the elites are following. But you know, until it all happens, you gotta stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.